We start Agadatantra today. We can expect 10 to 12 questions out of 120 questions in AAPGT. So AAPGT question paper is having 120 marks. In that 120 questions, we will get 10 to 12 questions. Each question carries 4 marks. Okay. So in total, AAPGT total marks is 480. Right. So before starting Agadatantra, so one line shloka I will remember from Charaka Samhita. Visham pranaharam yacha yukta yukte rasayanam. Okay, I will repeat. Visham pranaharam yacha yukta yukte rasayanam. So where you will come across this line in Charaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthana. This line, this shloka is from Charaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthana. The clear meaning is, so Visha will definitely take out the prana. Visham pranaharam. Definitely Visha will take out the prana. Yacha. Yukta yukta rasanam. But if it is used judiciously, if it is used in a very proper manner, with a proper purification in a proper dose, so it will save the life. And as well as it will act as a rasayana. Okay. Visham pranaharam. Yacha yukta yukte rasayanam. Uh, Before dealing with Agadatantra, so this is the quotation is from Charaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthana. Which chapter? I will give one more chance.
23, sir.
Visha Chikitsa Adhyaya. Charaka Chikitsa Sthana
Vishachaksa.
23 Chikitsa Adhyaya. No, it is not in Visha Chikitsa Adhyaya. It is in 24th chapter, Madatyaya Adhyaya. Madatyaya Chikitsa Adhyaya. 24th. Okay. So this sentence Acharya told in the case of Madhya. Okay. So what Acharya is going to convey is, so definitely Madhya is a poison. So if it is utilized in a proper way, it may act as a rasayana. Okay. That is their intention of telling about Visha. Okay. So what is the meaning of Agada? So the subject name is Agadatantra. So what is Agada? Agadaha is Agada. Ha means against, antidote. Okay. So that will works on Gada, that will nullifies the Gada, that will normalizes the Gada, that is Agada. Gada means Roga. Okay. So what is the meaning of Gada? Gada is Roga. Gada, Atanka, Papa, a lot of synonyms are there for Roga. So Gada is Roga. What are the treatment protocols will uh, taken to normalize the disease, brings the doshas to normalcy? It is Agada. Agada is an antidote. Antidote means, so that is a medicine or any other substance that will going to subside the disease. So in olden days, most of earth is covered with a forest. Almost I can say 90% of the earth is covered with the forest, except in glaciers of ice or in deserts. So except these areas, remaining part of the earth is covered with the forest. Okay, if forest is there, definitely we will get a lot of poisonous animals and animals are there in the forest. So nowadays the forest is declined and almost nowadays becomes 50% only. Okay, from 50%. So now you are not at all much encountered with the poisonous bites of a poisonous animals, except few cases still in northeast of India, so Assam, that region, definitely till or die with an snake bite. More than 150 cases reported in a year, so they will die because of snake poisoning. So they weren't even before reaching to the hospital only the people are dying. In India. But still, so these Agadatantra mainly evolved or developed to treat the poison, the poisoning effect in the body. Okay, so poisoning may be from the animals, or maybe from the chemicals, or maybe from the food, or maybe from the Garavisha. So Gara is Samyogaja Visha. If two non-poisonous things will mix together becomes a poison. Okay, the commonest example for this is Gruta and honey. So mixing Gruta and honey in equal quantity that becomes a poison. That is a Garavisha. So like lot of vishas we are consuming every day. So to nullify those vishas we are using Agada. Okay. Literally, nowadays we are eating poison in the form of food. Okay, so we are using a lot of pesticides, lot of fertilizers, so a lot of preservatives in packed foods. Okay, all these will act as somewhere as a garavisha or Samyogajavisha. So it will come in the body, it will stay, it will act as a Dushivisha sometimes. It's a latent poison. Dushivisha is that poison will not going to cause a disease immediately. So after some time with some proper Rutu and proper Dosha Ruddhi, so that Visha will act as a poison. That is Dushivisha. Okay, latent poison or denatured poison. Immediately it won't cause the disease. Later on, the effect of the poison may come into form that will going to cause the disease. So this the thing happen in today's world. So every day we are consuming a poison. So what is the helpful of learning Agada Tantra in clinical practice? My question. Okay. So most of the disease will come with poisonous effect. So from now onwards, we can divide the disease into two. One is from normal dosha ruddhi becomes a disease. One is from the poison becomes a disease. Almost all acute diseases are having some poison effect. Or chronic diseases also, dushivisha, maybe the thing will have the impact on this disease, especially the skin diseases. Okay. So in Kerala practice, whatever may be the skin disease, they will start with a Dushi Vishari Gulika or they will start with a Bilvadi Gulika. So in their clinical practice, just like we are using an Aragyavardhini, they are using Dushi Vishari Gulika and Bilvadi Gulika extensively. Okay. So very extensively they will use these two drugs, Dushi Vishari and Bilvadi Gulika. These two act as an Agada. So in every patient they will use these two medicines. In every skin patient they will use these two medicines because every disease having a tendency and they will consume some poison in day by day. If you nullify the poison, definitely disease will come to control. Okay, so why we are advising Rutu Shodhana in every month? It's all because of this Agada only, all because of this poisoning effect in the body only. If you want to detoxify the poison in the body, if you want to take out the toxin from the body, so regular panchakarma is needed. Okay. So how to practice Agada Tantra? What is the intention of this Agada? All this we'll learn in Agada Tantra. It is a very good subject for clinical practice, but we'll go to the syllabus. So syllabus they will concentrating much on Stavara Visha and Jangama Visha and the Visha Vega and Visha Chikitsa, Visha Agada. So all these things. In come to the modern, the forensic medicine and toxicology, they will concentrating on IPC sections, CRPC sections with the law, forensic. All those things is included, dissection, identification of the poison, uh, death and their causes. All these things will comes in modern. When come to clinical practice, what is the benefit of as a general practitioner from Agada Tantra? That we will discuss today. Okay, as an introduction to Agada Tantra. So, in the same line only, I told you Visham Pranaram Echa Yukta Ekta Rasayanam. Not only will come with the Visha, we are using Visha in many formulations, in many preparations. For example, we are using Datura in Tribuna Kirtirasa, Tulsi Ardaka Datura, Bhavana is there in Tribuna Kirtirasa. We are using Vishamushti in Vishatindukavati, and lot of medicines we are using Visha. Yadu Kuchala. Kuchala is Trichus naxomicum. So what is the uh, botanical name of Kuchala? Kuchala is Stricus naxomicum. 1 minute. Lot of medicines will contain Kuchala. Vishatindakavati, Vishamushtivati, Agnitundivati, Ekanga Virarasa. So all these medicines contains Kuchala as one of the common ingredient. Common ingredient. Okay. So and we are using Vatsanaba in many formulations. Mrityunjaya contains Vatsanaba. Okay. So lot of medicines contains Vatsanaba as one of the ingredient. So why our acharyas use lot of these poisonous medicines in their clinical practice? Okay, so the answer is very clear and simple. We have one rule in Agadatantra. Stavara Visha will act on Jangama Visha. Jangama Visha will act on Stavara Visha. This is the rule. This is the formula Acharya has given for clinical practice. Just like us. So Acharya has given some benefits of Agadatantra for a general clinical practitioners. What is the use of Agadatantra in general clinical practices? We can use Stavara Visha in case of Jangama Visha. So if you get a poisoning from Jangama Visha, we can use Stavara Visha. So common example given by Acharya Sushruta utilization of this Stavara Visha and Jangama Visha is, so in case of dog bite poisoning. Okay. So during Sushruta period, during 2000 BC, we don't have an anti-rabies injection or anti-rabies vaccination, nothing else. Okay. So Acharya Sushruta know about this rabies during 2000 BC only. Okay. So once we got a dog bite, so Alarka Visha, so immediately Acharya told to give Datura Moola. Okay, so Acharya advised the Tura Mula as a treatment protocol in case of Alarkavisha. So, uh, rabies is a poisoning from an animal, that is Jangama Visha. For Jangama Visha, we are using Stavara Visha as an antidote. Okay, to nullify rabies, we are using Jangama Visha. Sorry, Stavara Visha, that is Datura Mula. Like that, Acharya used many areas this antidotes. Poison only act as an antidote in many areas. Okay, so this is the one example. So we can use even in snake poison. We are using gunja as an antidote. Okay, so gunja mula in many areas they will use an antidote. So gunja they will use as an antidote. Okay, so same like in infections. So we have one lacuna in our Ayurveda. We don't have an antibiotics to treat uh, bacteria, bacterial infections. So that lacuna can be taken out from the clinical practice of Agadatantra. So every systemic medicines of Ayurveda will have one or two uh, vishas. So, for example, if you have a gastroenteritis or GE infections, vomiting and loose motions, or food poisoning, Clostridium tetani is a causative organism for food poison. So, in that case, which is the drug of choice? So, our Ayurveda drug of choice is Sanjeevani Vadi. So what Sanjeevani will contain? Which Visha Sanjeevani will contain? Sanjeevani contains Vatsanava and Balada, both. So Sanjeevani again we are using in case of snake poison. 3 tablets Sanjeevani 3 times in a day is the dose of snake poison. Okay, so Sanjeevani is a drug of choice in case of snake poison, in case of gastroenteritis. Any infections from oral cavity to stomach, small intestine, large intestine, till the anal cavity, infections of GE can be treated effectively with Sanjeevani. Here, the formula is very simple. It contains, so bacteria is a Jangamavisha. We are using Stavaravisha as an antidote. Okay, excellent drug. Sanjeevani with closed eyes, you can give it to any patient of GE. It will come down. The condition supply should be prepared very properly. They should add Vatsanava as one of the ingredients. So main issue with our pharmaceutical industry is they won't use Vatsanava as an ingredient in any of the medicines because of their purification methods and the safety, biosafety measures and other things. They won't use a proper purified medicines in any of the preparations. That is an issue. And even Ballataka. So Ballataka will cause some irritation in Pitta Prakriti persons. If it used in a minimum dose, it won't cause any issue. But if it used in a maximum dose without purification, it may cause some issues with the Pitta Prakriti. So that's why without why they have to take this. In that cases, pharmaceutical companies won't add these medications. Vasanava or Ballataka may not be present in Sanjeevani. If the pharmaceutical industry or if you prepare your own medicine by using Vatsanava and Ballataka in Sanjeevani, it is an excellent drug of choice in case of uh, gastroenteritis or GE infections. Same in case of respiratory. So we can use the Trivona Kirti Rasa. So upper respiratory Trivona Kirti, lower respiratory Shwasakota Rasa. Okay, both the cases, both the drugs will work very good. Both will contain Vatsanaba. In Tribuna Kirti, extra drug is Datura is present in Tribuna Kirti. Wherever you go with the Vatsanaba, Tankana is present as an antidote. Okay, to bring down the side effect of Vatsanama, Acharya has added Tankana is one of the ingredient. Any formulation, wherever you come across with Visha, definitely one antidote will be present. So Parada is a Visha. For that Parada, we are using Gandhaka as an antidote. Okay. So for Vasanava, we are using Tankana as an antidote. So like that, wherever the Visha comes, Acharya use some antidotes as an uh, Visha nullifier agent. Okay. So it's a very technically, very rationally, they made a formulations, every formulations and they advise very neatly. So one more thing is a recent PGET question. Which of the following through the oral route act as a non-poisonous? Question is very simple. Which of the following through oral route will act as a non-poisonous? Non-poisonous means so if you consume the medicine through the oral route, it won't cause any harm. Okay. So options we have is Patsanava, second one is Ballataka, so third one is Datura, and fourth one is snake venom. Which among the following will not act as a poison through the oral route? What is your answer? Fatafat.
Snake venom, sir.
Swati, snake poison.
Snake poison.
Yes. Amrita, Navin, Santosh, which of the following will not act as a non-poisoner through the oral route? Yes. Swati answer is correct. Snake poison will not act as a poison through oral route. If snake poison enters the bloodstream, then only it acts as a poison. So snake poison is neurotoxic. Okay. So when it reaches the brain, then only patient will die. That's why we will get some time. So before reaching it to the brain completely, if it go to the liver, liver will nullify snake poison. Okay. It will nullify. So how much quantity will left it out, it will reaches the brain, then only patient will die. then only the infected person will die. Okay, the bite person will die only it has reaches to the brain. If you consume snake poison orally, conditions apply, there will be no ulcers in the oral cavity, no ulcers in the esophagus, no ulcer in the stomach. So then only it is safe. It is a very good protein. Snake poison is an excellent protein. Okay, so it is a rejuvenator. Especially one more area, Acharya Charaka has advised snake poison through oral route. Where Acharya Charaka advised snake poison through the oral route? Which disease? Anybody? In which disease Acharya Charaka advised snake poison oral route? Naveen, Santosh, Swati, Amruta, फटाफट ऑप्शन ಕೊಡ್ಲಾ ಮದತ್ಯಯ ಗ್ರಹಣಿ ಉದರ ಗುಲ್ಮ
Udaras.
yes in case of jalodhara though acharya charaka referred the patient to dhanvantri sampradaya so very clearly acharya told so almost it is a completely jalodhara is there so we cannot treat the patient so let them refer to dhanvantri sampradaya to take out a fluid from the stomach for surgical management and any other emergency conditions. But still, after referring the patient to Dharmadhara Sampradaya, Acharya Charaka advised oral indication of snake poison. Okay, so when you understand the disease Udara or Jalodhara in the modern science, it is ascites. Why ascites will go into form? Because of liver cirrhosis. So, liver cirrhosis, which is the organ to produce albumin and globulin synthesis in the body, it is liver only. Okay. So, if liver damage, liver is not at all doing its functions properly. If liver is completely dead, it's a case of cirrhosis, or else 80 to 90% liver is non-functioning. In that case, we won't get a proper synthesis of albumin and globulin. If the ratio varies, then it will lead to the accumulation of water in the abdominal cavity. One reason. And obstruction of the portal vein is causing ascites in abdominal cavity, both. Okay. So when liver functions lowered, there will be no production of albumin. In that case, Acharya advised snake poison. Snake poison contains highest amount of albumin and globulin. Okay, it's a very purified version of albumin and globulin. If it is consumed only 1 ml, it is equal to 5 albumin transfusion. So one albumin costing about 10,000 rupees nowadays. So if 5 bottles of albumin transfusion is equal to 1 ml of snake poison. So much of albumin is present in a snake poison. Acharya Charaka knew about this albumin content in the snake or highest protein content in a snake poison. So he advised this one ಯಾವುದು snake poison through the oral route. Okay, very clearly. If it is consumed through the oral route, it is not at all acting as a poison. If you consume, if it is a bite happens, if snake poison enter into the bloodstream, then only it act as a poison. Otherwise, no, it won't act as a poison. Okay, so one folklore practitioner I have visited that place. They are using some medicines to remove snake poison through the eyes. Okay, they will put some medicine to the eyes. So continuous tears will happen continuously till evening. So the snake poison effect will nullifies. The patient will survive. So it is in a folklore practice. Many snake pies victims will go to that place and they will take the drops and they will come back. So without going to hospital or without taking any anti-snake venom, so they are happy. Okay, so one of my patient giving all these details to me. So we, the group of doctors, visited the place and we inquired about what is the medicines we are advising for the snake poison victims. That person, they don't want to disclose the medicine. Okay, so he told it is came from my ancestors. If I told the medicines, it won't cause effects in the patient like that. Their belief. And we went for 3 4 times. We waited for a week, and he won't disclose. Okay, so and finally we got to know that medicine is Nagavalli. Okay, so he will put Nagavalli Swarasa to the opposite uh, highs where the snake bite happens. If snake bite happens in the right part of the body, he will put Nagavalli Swarasa to the left high. If snake poison happen to the left part of the body, he will put Nagavalli Swarasa to the right high. So we know very clearly where to put the this Swarasa eye drops. Okay. So why he is doing opposite Nagavalli Swarasa application? What is the rationality? Anybody know about it? Why he is putting opposite side? Right part of the brain will contain left part of the body. Left part of the brain will contain right part of the body. Got it? First year anatomy. Okay. Snake poison is a neurotoxin. If it reaches the brain, then only patient will die. Okay. So this person knew very clearly if the harm happened to the brain, it is bite happened in the right side, left brain will going to die first. If bite happens in the right side, left will die, right opposite side. Okay. So the name Nagavalli came from it is an antidote for Sarpavision. And one thing, and one more thing is it the Balli will be like that of Naga. That's why. So the name came Nagavalli. Both. Okay, Nagavalli is betel leaf. Nagavalli is not a different plant. Viledele. Viledele Swarasana, they will put into the opposite side. So the whole the Viledele Swarasa will act as an irritant. The continuous tears will happen. So you will give the medicines to the patient also. Every 1 hour he has to put to the draw highs. Continuous tear should happen till the evening. So we have tested the tear also, it contains poison. Later on, we have tested the tear also, it will contains poison. So this is the mechanism. Okay, we are removing the poison through the opposite side through the tears. So there is a scientific evidence and logic. Everything is there in that. Okay. Uh, this is Nagada. So all of you should note down Nagavalli Swarasa is helpful in case of snake poison. So wherever you go into the forest or any regions, if you keep Nagavalli in your pocket for immediate use, okay, then no need of doing first aid. Then you can reach the nearest hospital for anti-snake venom injections. So Acharya Charaka has clearly told oral route of uh, snake poison will not at all acting as a visha. Okay. So this is the Agadatantra explanation and antidote. Nagavalli act as an antidote. In many areas, Stavara Visha will act as a Jangamisha poisoning. Jangamisha poison will act as a Stavara Visha poison. Okay, both Jangamisha and Stavara Visha will act as opposite to each other. Okay, in present scenario, in present day diseases, we need an antidotes. Okay, fast acting medicines. That fast acting medicine is Visha only or Agadas. So all Agadas are made by a purified form of Visha only. You can go with any of the Agadas. So in the Agada preparation, definitely we have one or two Vishas. Okay. Mrutyunjaya Growth Mrutyunjaya a lot of Agadas are mentioned in uh, Vishachikitsa Adhyaya of Charaka Samhita. So all contains one or other Visha, either maybe chemically made or it may be from the herbal, and in the combination it will act as a Visha. So definitely it is a Visha only. Without a Visha, you won't, medicine will not work in any of the disease conditions. Okay, so it must be Visha will do the action, especially in case of rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, in case of rheumatoid, which is the drug of choice in case of rheumatoid arthritis? Drug of choice in rheumatoid arthritis? Ricinus communis. What is Ricinus communis? Ricinus communis. ದ್ರವ್ಯಗುಣ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಈ ವೀಕ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ರೆಸಿನಸ್ ಕ್ಯುಮಿನಿಸ್ ಬೊಟಾನಿಕಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅದು, ಅಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಬಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಯಾವುದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Erenda Taylor. Sorry, Erenda sir.
Resinus communis is Erenda. So Erenda, if you read forensic medicine and toxicology, so in that book they are given Resinus communis is harrow poison. Resinus communis is harrow poison. In olden days they are using battle using harrow. They will put Resinus communis over the tip of the harrow. Okay, once it is touches the opponent body, he will die because of this poisoning. Okay, the best drug of choice in case of Amavata is Erandathil. So morning 10 ml, evening 10 ml, or morning 5 ml, evening 5 ml, based on dosha and based on body conditions, blindly advise Erandathil in case of Amavata. Let them take for lifetime also, no issue. Or in any books, if you read Yoga Ratnakara, Vaishya Ratnavali, in all the books, Yeranda Payasa is advised in case of Amavata. Okay, so no other drug will work as wonder that of Yeranda in case of Amavata. Any autoimmune diseases. So any toxic conditions in autoimmunity, you can use Yeranda Thyla. Yeranda is a poison. Where poison is present in Racemose cuminis seed, if you open Racemose cuminis, external pericarp is there, it is very hard. Internally, one bud is there. That bud contains Visha. Okay, so and whole seed is not at all a poison. Okay, it contains only an oil. So external bud is there, no? That bud contains Visha. From that only we will get a sprout. Sprout ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ವಿಷ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎರಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಯಾವುದು ವಿಷ ಇಲ್ಲ. Pericarp will remove it out. External hard cap will remove it out. Internally, it is soft one along with a bud that is a sprout. We should remove the sprout. Sprout contains highest amount of visha. Then you can use an internal seed for making payasa. You can advise to the patient. Eranda payasa regularly also you can give it to the Amavata patients. So they will get excellent relief. And if you give Vaitrana Basti in case of Amavata, excellent relief will be there. You can give Churna Basti in Amavata, will get excellent relief. So you can withdraw Folitrax or Methotrexate medicine slowly in case of Amavata. So we have a Visha medicines, a promising result you will get. So why I am telling all these things means simply if you study Agadatantra, you can memorize how many Sthavara Vishas are there, how many Jangama Vishas are there, how many Sarpa Vishas are there, which Sarpa will wake up in the early morning, which Sarpa poison is peak in the early morning. All these things anyhow will memorize. And what is the utilization of Agadatantra in our clinical practice? It is a must known thing and it is a skill for our clinical practice. When to use, where to use. Okay, so these skills we need to develop. So Eranda is an excellent drug of choice in case of Amavata. Apart from that, Eranda, second level we can advise is Ballata. So if it is a kapha dominant persons, a chubby person is there, Kapha and Meda Vikruti is there. We can use Ballataka also. So Ballataka is an excellent drug of choice in case of Amvata. Amruta Ballataka Lekha is a drug of choice. Only Ballataka Gruta is a drug of choice. Sahasra Ballataka Gruta is a drug of choice in case of uh, cancer, in case of Amvata. And even in case of cancer also, if an origin of cancer maybe from the virus or bacteria, especially cervical cancer, in that conditions, we can use this drug. ಯಾವುದು ಬಲ್ಲಾತಕ ಸಹಸ್ರ ಬಲ್ಲಾತಕ ಘೃತ definitely will work in cervical cancers. So because it contains a poison. Virus is a Stavara Visha, we are using so virus is a Jangam Visha, we are using Stavara Visha Ballataka in case of Jangam Visha. Same formula will happen. Okay, Sahasra Ballataka Gruta in cervical carcinomas. Okay, like Russia also we have a lot of poisons. These poisons also we are using in case of cancer conditions also, autoimmune conditions also. Okay, so Vatsanava we are using, Eranda we are using, Balatka we are using, Kuchala we are using. Okay, so all Vishas we are utilizing in our clinical practice. Kanugala Gida, Karavira. Karavira we are using, it's a cardiac poison. Karavira is a cardiac poison. Gunja we are using in a clinical practice, right? So almost all poisons we are using in one or the other hand with a proper purification, gunja, datura, all this with a proper purification with a in a proper dose. So definitely it acts as a rasayana. Visham pranharam yacha yukta yukte rasayana. Same thing in Madateya, where Acharya has taken this line is in case of Madateya. So Madhya as an antidote in case of Madatyaya. Okay, Madatyaya means indigested alcohol present in the bloodstream. So the patient will end up into semi-conscious and delirium tremors. Will develop the delirium tremors and patient becomes unconscious and semi-conscious state will be there. In that case, what is the medicine should be advised? So a completely dehydration state will come in case of Madatyaya. We have done treatment in those patients. We need to give vitamin injections and IV fluids to digest. So, what is there in our Ayurveda? What Acharya told during Madatyaya? So, during Madatyaya, Madhya will become a kshara and stay in the body without digestion. Okay, if they drink excess of alcohol, so what is the optimum dose of after alcohol in a day? How much quantity of alcohol should be advised in a day? Advisable dose of alcohol, a digestible dose of alcohol in a day, it is 70 grams for 24 hours. So if they consume more than 70 grams for 24 hours, it acts as a poison. Okay, so that will go into damage liver cells. It may cause a late effect, but every day that alcohol will go into do the damage liver cells and as well as cardiac muscles. Okay, so for that reason only we'll tell every person or patient don't go for alcohol. If you start alcohol, so that will definitely make a problem with the liver and as well as heart. Okay, 70 grams. If they cross the limit of 70 grams volume by volume in a day, definitely that will go into heart, liver cells, and cardiac cells. So the undigested alcohol stays in the form of kshara. So what Acharya Charaka told as an antidote in case of Madatya is Navamadhya. Okay. So what is the rasa of Navamadhya? Navamadhya rasa is Amla rasa.
Madhura. Amla.
Amla. Navamadhya is Amla. So Kshara is there. Undigested alcohol in the body act as a Kshara. If you give Navamadhya in that case, Madhya plus Kshara becomes Madhura rasa. That becomes glucose. Undigested alcohol plus Navamadhya Amla. Amla plus Kshara becomes Madhura rasa. That is a formula. So Acharya Charaka knew if you mix Shara plus Amla, that becomes Madura. Immediately patient will wake up. Patient will get conscious in case of Madhatya. Its delirium tremors will go. Okay. So we have tried in hospital setups also. When I was worked in a, Spandana Neuropsychiatric Hospital and de-addiction center. So their patient will come with alcohol addiction and some conscious state, delirium tremors. We put him there in the multivitamins and IV fluids. Later on, we will give a fresh madhya dominant of amlarasa. So a patient will be all right within 6 to 24 hours. Okay. So this is the formula given in our classic salts. Okay. Whatever Acharya has explained, it's very scientifically we can prove with the present day. So that's why Ayurveda they call it as an Amruta. We can use uh, the classics in a proper way. Definitely, it acts as an Amruta. Okay, so like that in Agadatantra, we have a lot of clinical jewels will get. It will help in our clinical practice. So if you just practice Amavad as a one disease, you can do anything and everything. If you do only skin practice, lot patients are there with the skin. So people will not stop eating preserved foods. And every agriculture without pesticides, they won't survive. Organic farming and organic agricultural farming is not at all a present scenario. Everybody will tell we'll do organic, but nobody will do the organic. So if you start doing only organic, a lot of infections will happen. They will lose the crop. Okay, so that's why they need to use pesticides. So on grapes, 99% grapes will come with pesticide residues only. Without pesticides, we cannot grow grapes. Okay, without pesticides, we cannot grow dadima, pomegranate. Okay, so without pesticide, we cannot grow pumpkin, watermelon, cucumber. So lot of pesticides will be there. So if we cannot avoid pesticides, at least we should go with an antidotes. So in that scenario, every human being will contain one or the other pesticide residue in their body, one or the other toxins in our body. So one common example I will give you. So you just check in internet also. During 1980s, only DDT was banned. DDT. DDT is a non-biodegradable chemical. So previously we are used DDT to avoid cockroach, to avoid ants in the home. So still DDT is available in the market, black market. Everybody is using DDT. And DDT is a non-biodegradable material. Non-biodegradable means it won't digest anywhere. If it is go to the earth, it will stay like that only. And if you grow a plant over that area with the dominance of DDT, again, so the DDT will absorbed by the plant. If you consume the same plant, the DDT will enter into our body. It will stay in the body. So one survey explained that every human being contains 4 parts per millimeter of DDT. Everybody will have DDT in our body. So like that, we have a lot of chemical will be enter into our body, will stay for longer period. That is the common cause for a cancer. Okay, so that chemical will do irritation to the cells. That will change the cell function. So then only irregular cell growth will happen. That will lead to a cancer. Why cancer is become so rampant, very huge, growing everywhere? It's because of our chemical consuming. Okay, poisonous consuming. So in future, the practice is antidote for the poison. Okay, you can make your own antidote clinic. So clinic name should be an antidote only. Ayurveda antidote clinic or antidote clinic. So it's a very catchy word, antidote clinic or Agada clinic. You can keep name of a clinic will be Agada clinic. You only do antidote treatment. So any poisonous conditions, you will give antidotes. So before that, you should prepare your own antidotes, especially Mrityunjaya Gada, Mahamrityunjaya Gada, at least you keep Dushu Shariglika, Bilvadiglika. So which is a Shrestha Agada, Shirishadi Agada, Shirisharishta. So think when I enter into the clinical practice, we learned Shirisharishta is the best antidote. When we enter into the clinical practice, I have called almost all companies. No company is preparing Shirisharishta. No one company is preparing Shirisharishta. So then I found only one company out of 38,000 companies present in India. Only one company is preparing Shirisharishta. So in Agada, best Agada is Shirisha. Shirisha is the best antidote, best Agada, best detoxifier. Only one company is making Shirisharishta. So whatever patient may come to your clinic, first 5 days should give antidote. Shirisharishta should give, or any Bilwadi Gulika you give, any Dushvishari Gulika will give. Then your medicine will work faster. Okay, whatever it may be the disease. First we have to do the detoxification of the body. So we remove the poison. So then our normal medicine will start working. Okay, so that is the need of the hour. So detoxifying the body, denaturing the poison in the body, then only the drug will work. Okay, so with this small introduction, we'll continue the syllabus of Agadatantra. We can expect 10 to 12 questions out of 120 questions in Agadatantra. So these are all the main content. What are the different names given for Agada? So same in Sishru Samhita we have Agadatantra only. In Dallana it is Roga Pratikara. The name used as an Agada in Dallana Tika is Roga Pratikara. In Charaka Samhita is Vishagara Vairodhika Prashamani. So where it is used in Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 30th chapter. Instead of using Agada, he gave the name Vishagara Vairodhika Prashamani. So Laghu Vagbata is Ashtanga Hridayakara. He used it as a Damshta Chikitsa. Ashtanga Sangra also they use Damshta Chikitsa. In Vagbata both Ashtanga Sangra and Ashtanga Hridaya they use Damshta Chikitsa. In Charaka Samhita they use it as a Vishagara Vairodhika Prashamani. So Dallana Roga Pratikara. Okay. Sushruta Gadatantra. So in Charaka Samhita the reference of Agadatantra is there in Charaka Chikitsa 23rd chapter, Visha Chikitsa Adhyaya. So, where in Sushru Samhita we have a reference of Agada. The whole 8 chapters of Kalpasthana of Sushru Samhita is entirely dedicated to Agadatantra. It is the only one Samhita. So, one sthana is completely dedicated to one Anga of Ayurveda. Okay. The whole Sushru contains only 6 sthanas, including Uttara Tantra. In that one sthana is completely dedicated to Agadatantra, that is Kalpasthana. Okay, you should remember. So all of Kalpasthana of Sushrutamrita is completely dedicated to Agadatantra. So in Vagbata, so Ashtanga Hridaya 35th to 38th chapter of Uttara Tantra, Ashtanga Sangra 40 to 48th chapter of Uttara Tantra is completely dedicated to Agadatantra. When come to Charaka Samhita, so Vishachikitsa Adhyaya, 23rd chapter, Chikitsa Sthana, Sushruta Kalpasthana is entirely dedicated to Vishachikitsa or Agadatantra. In Vagbata Ashtanga Hridaya, so 35 to 38 chapters in Uttara Tantra, Ashtanga Sangraha 40 to 48 chapters in Uttara Tantra. So these are all the reference, the classical reference of Agada Tantra. So what is Visha? When we will come to this, so what is Visha? Vishada Janayatvam Vishaha. Okay, that will going to generate Vishada in the body, some irritation, some toxicity. So that is Visha. So Agada is antidote. So that denotes internal and external medication for Visha is antidote. It's a description of Samhita. In Kashyapa Samhita, Alambayana Samhita, Shaunaka Samhita, Bruhaspati Samhita, and Kautilya Shastra, these are all some of the reference books of Agada Tantra. In Sushruta Samhita, also in many references, Sushruta commentary, we have a reference of Alambayana Samhita. Alambayana Samhita is an entirely dedicated book of Agadatantra. So we have a reference of Alambayana Samhita and Sushruta Samhita also. So synonyms of Visha, Shveda, Garala, Visha, Kalakuta, all these things. So classification of Visha is there. So Stavara, Visha, Jangam, Visha, like that classification. And all classification you should go Stavara, Jangama, and Kritrima, Karint, Ashtanga, Rudaya, and Kashif Samhita classification. Samyoga Visha, Stavara Visha, Jangam, like that. All classification we should go through it. And again, in Stavara Visha, Jangam Visha, Stavara Visha Vega, Jangam Visha Vega, Visha, Visha Guna, Visha Vega, Visha Adhisthana. All this is very important FAQ. So apart from that, Visha purification. Purification of Visha is an question definitely they will ask. So how to purify Vatsanaba, how to purify um, Balataka. All these questions very commonly they will ask. What is the antidote of the Visha? So very commonly asked, and they will ask in detail about uh, Sarpa Visha, Kita Visha, Luta Visha, all this classification and detail in must know in detail about all this, all the classifications. And when come to modern forensic medicine and detailed about toxicology. In toxicology, dose and as well as duration. So in how much dose that will going to cause the poisoning effect, in how many hours or in how many days the person will die. Okay, so that is important in toxicology. I will share the complete dose, complete fatal dose and fatal period and types of poison material. Along with that, I will share complete Agadatantra PDF with you or study material with you. So Agadatantra will come for at least 40 marks in your 480 marks of APGT examinations. Main important FAQ is complete Sushruta Kalpasthana, Visha classification. So Stavara Visha, Jnana Visha classification, Visha Vega. And come to forensic medicine toxicology, almost all points is important. Just go through once. IPC, CRPC sections, they will ask one or two questions. And burns and scalds, they may ask one question. Okay, so very commonly they will ask rule of nine and first degree burns, second degree burns, treatment in burns. In how many days patient will, if patient died within 7 days of burns, what is the cause? Okay, all these are very common questions in case of burns. Okay, and what is thanatology? What is podogram? Okay, what is dactylography? So very commonly they will ask question, what is forensic and evidences, inquest. Okay, so very detailed note you need to take and study in detail modern and as well as Ayurveda. So very interesting subject now at this point after completion of BAMS. So Agatantra becomes a very interesting subject. You will love in reading Agatantra, and in Ayurveda you read for clinical practice, especially Visha Vega and Visha Vega Chikitsa. If patient will come in first Vega, what is the treatment? If patient will come in seventh Vega, what is the treatment? Patient will come in sixth Vega, what is the treatment? Okay, so Kakajanga Pada Chikitsa were done in case of eighth Visha Vega, in last Visha Vega. So poison already reached the brain, patient is almost dead, so no signs of living. Then Acharya told open directly the scalp and put the medicine to the brain. Okay, so there is a emergency treatment, Kakapada Janga Chikitsa. Still, it is in the practice in some Vaidyas practicing in Delhi. So, will directly inject the medicine through Brahmarandra. Kakapada will make one hole, just like a barrel surgery, will put the medicine. So, it is in practice, but we people don't know how to practice, and we are not at all trained or we are not at all expertise in practice of Tantra. But in Kerala, every region will get one or two Vishavaidyas. Okay, they will only practice uh, Agada or Vishachikitsa. They were very wonderfully practicing Vishavidya or Vishachikitsa. Okay, so it will come from their ancestors, and there's a focal book. They are doing the treatments. Okay, so detail of this Agadatantra will be dealt in future classes. So I will upload videos of Agadatantra. This Sunday you will get test of Dravyagoda.